Woke up the dog. Sorry, Bandita. Oh, he's like, oh no, what's happening? I hope you all are doing well. How is everyone? It has been a minute. Oh, let me make sure you guys can actually hear me, huh? That's probably... Okay, you can. Good. Why did it seem like it was picking up audio from somewhere else? Hopefully that was just a little... I just noticed that it wasn't actually anything. Hi. It has been a minute. I was gone last week because I was at Thornwood, which is the new West Coast kinky camping trip that Dark Odyssey is putting on. I'm going to be doing a full video about that over on Patreon. Hopefully it's not going to be 2 hours long, but it might be. It's probably going to be at least an hour. A lot happened. And then I'm going to be doing a shorter video for here on YouTube where I talk just about like hunts and like fox hunts and like primal hunts and what those are and how you do them and how I do them and what they're like. And it should be a fun time. So there'll be a little bit of it here on YouTube, but the big full story about Thornwood will be over on Patreon. And oh, thank you. The art on the stream is so good. Yeah, I really like it too. It's good. All right, I'm going to try to zoom in on the Bendita here. It's very funny that I started her awake. It is very hot outside right now, FYI. I don't know, I have bad timing, okay? In Portland, before I left to go to Thornwood, there was a 100+ degree heat wave, and then it was good again for one day, and then I left, and then I came back, and it's been good for a couple of days, and now we're gonna have like a 5-day long heat wave where it's gonna be, if it's not over 100, it's gonna be like right under, like I think it's supposed to be between like 99 and like 103, so... FYI, we're doing our best to keep the camera equipment cool, but I can't promise anything even with my fan going. I double checked it before we started just to make sure it was going. It's hot, and the buildings here, especially this building, not equipped for that kind of weather. And we're staying hydrated. As always, as we should, regardless of the weather, but especially when it's hot outside. Very important to keep our hydration levels up. And yeah, okay. So, before I get too distracted, I will go ahead and do my normal spiel. So, hi, my name is Evie Lupine, and I stream every week here on YouTube on Fridays at 6 p.m. This is an 18+ only live stream where you guys ask questions and I answer them. We have rules and FAQ down below if you want to familiarize yourselves with that. It will prevent any issues. The rules here are very simple. Again, 18+ only. Respect me, respect the mods. And don't spam the chat. Really simple. Super simple. In general, I choose what I want to have answered. Oh, and thank you, Sean, so much for doing some start of the stream gifts. That's very appreciated. I hope you have been doing well. I think, did you just post some new photos? I think I saw some before I got on stream. Luckily, you had a fun time. So maybe if you want to catch us up on that, I'd love to share. If you feel like sharing, we can chit chat about it a little bit. But yeah. I basically don't answer questions that are reserved for a professional. So if you would like legal advice, medical advice, that's not my bag. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a person whose special interest is kink. And here we are 10 years later. I have wisdom, but I don't have any sort of professional background in anything you would need for that kind of advice. So just keep that in mind. If you do ask me something along those lines, I'll tell you like somewhere else to go to get information instead. But otherwise, ask about whatever you want. It could be kink related, BDSM, dating, relationships, dating apps, polyamory, queer issues, pop culture issues. We cover all that here on the channel. Y'all have been really liking the videos I've been posting recently, which has been really nice. So I posted a video yesterday that is all about this like new concept that I have been like, I didn't know there was language for it. I like have been noodling on this in the background in my brain for like months and months. And then I randomly on FetLife, somebody misattributed the quote to Andrea Dworkin. And I was like, there's no way Andrea Dworkin said that. That can't be right. So then I found the article it originally came from. And I was like, oh, no. It was the author said that in an article about Andrea, but Andrea herself never said that. I was like, did Andrea Dworkin have like a last minute change of heart like at some point that I just didn't know about, where like the whole beginning part of her career for like 98% of it was like kink must be destroyed, and then the remaining 2% was like, actually I'm wrong though. I mean, that happens sometimes. It does happen. But no, it was the author of the article actually said it wasn't actually Andrea. So and I do apologize. I think there was at least one person that was like, I wasn't mentally prepared for Andrea Dworkin being mentioned. And I think you should do a trigger warning for when I'm talking about rad femmes, because I think, honestly, learning from that article that Andrea Dworkin, which I think I mentioned in the video, Andrea Dworkin apparently in her early life did like in sort of not quite like Summer of Love era, but you know, like late 60s, early 70s, like had very open sexual relationships, did experiment with BDSM and kink, and then her boyfriend or husband, I haven't looked at this very deeply, so I'm probably not getting the details correct, but my assessment of it from what I understood from the article was Andrea, her whole life philosophy, like a lot of rad femmes, came out of an individual personal negative experience of having a kink relationship go super fucking sideways and not being treated like a human being. And like the BDSM community, especially in like the 60s and 70s, like we had no idea what the fuck we were doing yet, especially the straight people. Oh my God, the straights. Did not know what they were doing, all right? Gay community was a little bit better. Then you have pro-doms who have been doing what they do for a very long time, had a little bit of a different system going on, but especially in heterosexual kink, it wasn't until we started to really like work together between the gay men's community, the gay women's community, the pansexual / heterosexual community, and the pro-dom community, when we all started to work together and collaborate more in later eras, when we had that cross-pollination of ideas, then like consent conversations and things like negotiation and training and mentorship became a much more prominent part of what people were doing. But in those early decades of BDSM kind of being a thing, like we had no conversations about separating BDSM from abuse. We had no conversations about establishing like ongoing consent or safe words or any of the guardrails that we currently have. So like, of course, if you're somebody who's like in their 20s and you have this like really negative experience, you're pressured by the counterculture you're a part of to experiment sexually. You do that, it goes really bad, you feel empty, like, and then you look at your friends who might be in the same boat as you. Of course you're gonna pop out of that and be like, this doesn't work for anybody, we need to eradicate this because it can only ever be bad. But the problem is when you take ideas of something that happened based on a perspective that's not even my understanding, somebody who's like part of the community but was like doing, you know, BDSM stuff at a time before we really had a community, right, to hold anyone accountable, to have classes, education, to have vetting networks, any of those safety things. Again, when you look at that, of course you're going to be like, let's eliminate this. But you can't judge a community based on what it was like at this point 60 years ago, depending on, you know, we're counting from like 1965, like things, we have updated things, we have changed the way that we organize as a community, we have so many new ways of talking about consent and helping people maintain their autonomy and play. And realizing that and knowing how many rad femmes are the way they are because they had an individual personal negative experience that they then extrapolated into like, this must be bad for everybody, kind of reminds me a little bit of, because J.K. Rowling I think is also a rad femme, right? How J.K. Rowling talks about how, well, when I was a teenage girl, the only thing I wanted was to escape being a girl. And if I had been pressured by somebody or been told it was an option that I could be a boy instead, then maybe I would have done that. And then that would have been really bad. And it's like, is J.K. Rowling an egg? Question 1. Question 2. Just because you had that experience, J.K. Rowling, does not mean that's evidence that everyone is also like you and that therefore no one should be allowed to transition at any point ever. It's very similar. But yeah, I think I want to do a deep dive about that at some point because it was really fascinating. But it's going to take a lot of reading, like if I really want to understand. Because I never did, like, I didn't do like gender studies in school. Yes, I will see your message in chat, Sean. I will get to it. Sorry, I'm rambling about radical feminism at the moment. We'll get to it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I want to do a deep dive on it, but I didn't do like gender studies in school. I didn't do like I did like liberal arts stuff more broadly, but I didn't do specifically that as part of my degree program. So I don't have like a baseline academic familiarity with these foundational texts from my time being in school. It would all just be like independently like rereading the stuff or reading it for the first time to really understand, okay, what the fuck what is this life story? How is it informing their philosophy? What arguments are they making? And I could either make a super high effort video that would take me months, or I could make like a medium effort video that would probably take me like a week or two to make. So I'm not sure exactly how I want to approach that, but yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. J.K. Rowling unable to accept that any woman actually enjoys being a woman. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say that's not part of it. Yeah, or at least see it as a neutral thing and not a gender of only suffering, whatever. I mean, yeah, that kind of reminds me of what Decolonizing Love had said about, like, preferring to date trans women, but especially, like, pre-op, don't like that term, but that's what Decolonizing Love used. What they said about like, oh, I prefer dating, trans people because I think people that have experienced oppression and hardship are more empathetic and like better people. Don't love that. Don't love it. I mean, I understand the train of thought you had to get there, but being like, I'm attracted to you because you've suffered is messed up. Like, not great. Because eventually, don't we want to get to a point? Isn't the whole point to get to a new version of society where people like that are not being oppressed and are not suffering for their identity or their gender or what genitals they have? Because then what are we going to do then? Yeah, do we have people keep suffering because it makes you more attracted to them? Like, what the fuck? That's weird. I mean, I would get it maybe if it was more like, oh, like there's that, and then there's, oh, well, I'm also somebody that has a lot of trauma, and so it's easier for me to relate to people that also have a level of trauma. But then even then, you're still kind of insinuating that like all trans women experience like a high level of trauma with being who they are, and that's not necessarily the case. Like what's her name? She's on YouTube. Is it Nikki Beauty? The blonde, the blonde lady who does like the super colorful makeup, Nikki Tutorials. Nikki Tutorials is a trans woman, and she was super stealth for like almost all of her YouTube career and came out later, but I think she actually was really supported by her family, like from a very early age. And like, I'm not saying she hasn't experienced trauma, but like there's a big difference between that and being like, I got kicked out on the street and like I had to do like survival sex work and like the kinds of things that I imagine one would picture if you're like, I like people who have suffered because it's made them better people. Also, sometimes suffering doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you have weird reactions to things. Like, am I a better person because I've suffered? No, but when I see a very particular type of kitchen utensil, I get a lot of anxiety. Like, is that something? It's not, I don't want it to be a character building exercise. Yeah, it gives you to know that you're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful vibes. Oh God, yes, exactly. Like, it's like, oh, very like female protagonist in a YA novel who's like, I'm just very average and all my sisters are so much prettier than me and I got picked on in school and I got bullied, and then the hot guy at school thinks I'm hot because I'm so unique. Like, it's very like, can we please graduate from this? We are not 14 years old anymore. Dear God Almighty. Yeah, like, why can't we work on solving women's oppression and let trans people live as their most authentic selves at the same time? Nah, can't do it, Lexi. Too radical. How would society survive people just casually being who they are? Probably meant from a decent place, but a whole bunch of red flags to show up. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like, ooh, have you like interacted with a lot of trans women? Like, to say this on your, like, I feel like, and this is not me trying to be like, I know better because I know so many trans women, but like, I feel like if you socialize around a significant number of trans women, you get the vibe pretty quickly that that's like not an appropriate thing to say and is like super not your business. But you know, maybe if you aren't properly socialized or you're not in community with people like that, but you still like desire them, you come up with weird reasons to explain your attraction, even if you're not in community with them. But yeah. I think it includes an anecdote about white and black activists discussing how nothing furthers a revolution as having sex with the same woman. Owen responds, what about the chick or some such? Yeah. Yeah, my upbringing was comparatively privileged compared to a lot of trans people. My parents were cool with it. Even my school was good enough experience. Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful you experienced that. Like, I think if you ever hear somebody who's like, actually, I wasn't bullied and my family was supportive, it should be like, oh, thank God, I'm so happy for you. Like, it should not be a like, oh, well then, too privileged. Like, that would be such a gross reaction. Yeah, the suffering thing is annoying. Ruth Kluger, I'm not, Ruth, just gonna go with Ruth. Ruth talks about it in regards to the Holocaust. No one learned anything from it, least of all the victims. There was nothing good about it. Oh, yeah. I've been like revisiting those thoughts quite a bit recently in light of recent global events. But yeah, Or like, don't they go into this in like Mouse? Isn't like, I don't really remember. It's been a very long time since I've read any part of Mouse, but isn't there quite a bit of Mouse that's about his dad? That's like, you know, my dad went through all this suffering, but also he's still a racist and is like not necessarily a good person, you know? I wasn't even the only out trans person in my high school where people were just fascinated than anything. I mean, that's good. Honestly, I feel like in that, you know, maybe, I don't know actually if it would be better now or then. Because I think then, what I remember, and I've maybe mentioned this before, like I feel like at that point in time, at least when I was in high school, which was a little bit later, like that was like peak of the gay marriage debate, and there was a lot of focus on sexuality and less so on gender identity. But even then, there was still like, if something around being transgender came up, it wasn't a huge deal. Like, people were just kind of like, oh, they didn't really know what to think about it. They didn't necessarily know the right or kind things to say. But it wasn't treated as, like, a negative social contagion. And I don't actually remember. I don't think I, like, met my... I don't think I knew... I grew up very sheltered. I don't think I knew what a trans person was until I was like 18. Like, I don't think I had like, but then I heard about it. I was like, oh, okay, like whatever. Like, that's who they are. Fine. Like, who am I to judge? That seems interesting because I had a friend that had started. They went to a different university than me, and then they had started to date a non-binary person, and I was like, what's that? And they were like, this is what being non-binary is. And I was like, well, what's being trans? And like, this is what being trans is. And then I eventually figured it out. But yeah, I know not everyone has that experience, but I think then it was kind of more under the radar. Like, you would have those like shock news articles where it was like, you know, woman impregnates her husband, you know, when it's like a T for T couple situation. And everyone's like, how does a woman impregnate a man? And it's like, well, when a man and a wife love each other very much, yeah. The same thing as usual, but just opposite directions. But yeah, there would be kind of that like shock grocery store magazine type coverage of it. But that was about it that I really remember from that point in time. Yeah, Mouse deals with it too. Mouse also does a meditation on how the Holocaust focuses on the experience of the second generation, while Kluger is a survivor. Yeah, I think both of those perspectives are interesting and valid to hear about. It is another kind of bigotry to assume that people with trauma or minorities are all great people, or that it makes you a better person. It's a very mono-minority thing, which is also bad. Okay, yes, that was the terminology I was looking for. I was like, I know that there's like a word for it that's like the kind of negative bias that comes from, oh, well, you must be better because you've gone through this thing. And it's like, well, no, now you're just like, it's the same flavor of like, Asian people are really smart, you know. It's like, yes, it's a positive stereotype, but also it's still a stereotype and still like creates bigotry at the same time. Yeah, it's really terrible how far we've transgressed or regressed rather on these issues in such a short period of time. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to, let's go back to what Sean was talking about, and then we'll get into some more questions. All right. I can already feel that it's getting like sticky and hot in here. It's actually been pretty cool here so far today, but then suddenly. All right. I am looking at messages. Oh, sure, yeah. I wanted to resend an edited version of the school play for those who are not on the Tuesday stream for whatever reason, as well as a story to go with the pics. Yeah, if you want to, go for it. Yeah, you can send that to me if you want to send me a message on FetLife. I think that's probably a good way to get to it. Oh, there it is. Speak of the devil. It's in my inbox already. Yeah, it is in a very strong backlash phase, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that will not be for forever and things will eventually get better. Because we make it better. Not because it just will naturally over time, but because we're working in that direction. All right. Okay, this is buckle up, y'all. Sean has a story. So part of this is from some stuff that they were talking about on the stream last week as like a little bit of follow-up. So they went to a school-themed role play thing. Actually, we didn't talk about last week. It was the week before that because I didn't stream last week. But they said the school-based role play was so much fun. Obviously, it was to be a brat or to be a good student. As it turns out, bratting is expected and subtly encouraged. Every infraction resulted in being issued a detention slip, which is actually a consent slip where you filled out how many strikes during the punishment you wanted, what type of implement you wanted, and how hard you wanted to be hit with it. If you're interested, the ranges were 0 to 5, 10 to 15, 20 to 25, and finally, are you effing kidding me? The strength range was from mild, medium, hard, and finally swing for the fences. Yeah, swing for the fences is just a funny way of framing it. I like it. I started out as a good student, earned 2 stickers for 10 punishments. After that, I was watching people collect infraction forms like they were going out of style, so I started to be a little bit bad by throwing paper airplanes and got 2 detention slips. If anyone wants to know the punishment I chose, I'll be happy to put those in the chat for people. By the end of the day, I had a total of 3 stickers and a total of 30 strikes in a punishment scene. Those 30 strikes with 3 different implements actually put me into my first loopy feeling subspace. Oh, that's very exciting. Subspace is fun. It's a fun time. But gotta be careful with it. All in all, had a blast. I will do it again. Anyone in the general LA area can message me on FetLife, and I will share the info on my dungeon. On Wednesday night, I went to a play party where you could be dominant, a switch, or a submissive. Normally the parties, the female staff, femdom, and female switch only, all attendees are to be in a submissive mode/mindset. Because of this difference, I got to have my first solo scene without anyone looking over my shoulder. It was a mild to moderate impact being on a spanking bench. It lasted for about 30 to 45 minutes plus negotiation. The scene included a hand spanking warm-up followed by a leather paddle, 2 wooden paddles, and an acrylic paddle, a cane, and a flogger. I was getting a little variety pack there. Got a little bit of everything. Also included was some hair pulling and face slapping. Nice. The person who was bottoming for me requested to stay in a 2 to 3 power on the impact play according to the perception of strikes. As we moved on, that went up to the same power level, but with surprise impacts going up for 4 or 5. Okay. Love the number system. Always good to have that. I think it's also very good to calibrate to what your partner's perception of power is, because it's different for every person and different implement to implement. I think most people here, unless you're like a hardcore masochist who like loves all sensations and wants everything to be at a 10, which is very, very few people. Most people, they have favorites, they have things they really don't like, and so if they really don't like, for example, wooden paddles, because they're really, really stingy and very rigid at the same time, like, they're not going to want to go very high in that power level of intensity, but something that they do enjoy, they may want more power from. And somebody who loves paddles but hates, like, boots is going to maybe have a different opinion. So always good to calibrate to your partner. I think especially for tops, very important to not set expectations on your partner of, like, what light, medium, and hard has to be like. Because this is something that I still struggle with as a bottom, like especially playing with new partners and figuring out what their style is. Like the assumption is always like a sadist is always gonna prefer to go harder, and you're gonna be compared to their other previous play partners, and they're gonna see how much you can take compared to other people. And if like their light is your medium, or their or their heavy is something you can't handle at all, like that can bring up a lot of negative feelings and self-judgment and anxiety and worry that you're not like a good kinkster or anything like that. So instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna give you what I think is light, and then doing light and have them either react that it's way too strong or not strong enough, without putting anything into it, just start like as light as you could possibly manage, and then ask them for a number, and then calibrate off of what they tell you. Don't put your own perception into it in a way that they can perceive. Like, you can obviously internally have thoughts about like, oh, well, this is like way harder than I would normally go, or this is way softer, but it varies so much person to person, and also like the time in the month, or like if you're doing it over clothing, or the physical position that you're in, depending on if the body can be like fully relaxed, if you're standing up, if your muscles are stretched out. So anyways, that's my little soapbox about things. I find a lot of, especially people that are like, like impact play is kind of like a default thing that a lot of people do at parties, and so there's like a pressure to be into it, but a lot of people don't really like impact play, and they include it as like an adjunct to things that they actually enjoy, but there's still a pressure to like be like more into it and get to play harder than maybe they're actually comfortable with. So just don't put that on people. Anyways, sorry. Rant about that aside, getting back into the story here. I completed the rest of the 2 hours left in the party as a bottom. Oh, so you got to switch. Okay, very nice, cool. And had a scene with me only spanking bench, receiving a single toe up, followed by some fire wanding and some fire cupping. Ooh, fancy. Doing some fancy stuff there. I'm actually kind of surprised if anyone in LA is like, fire is fine. But probably depends on just the local building code. Hopefully the local building code allows them to do fire play, because otherwise the fire marshal might be making a visit at some point, and that always sucks. But single toe whips, they're no joke. You can use them in a soft way, but a lot of people using a whip softly, it's sort of like a Picasso, right? Like, maybe it's not Picasso, Da Vinci. There was like some artists that they have a famous quote about how it like, when they were a teenager, they could paint like the masters, but then, it took them a lifetime to figure out how to paint like a child again. Like, it's kind of like that, where like you can learn how to use a whip really hard, like fairly easily. But learning how to use it subtly with really tight control on where you're hitting, and also using it lightly, that is what takes fucking skill. And that's what's really difficult for a lot of people. But yeah, I've had a lot of people in my life over the years that are like, they're like, ooh, whips, super cool. And then they get really into whips and they buy them because they're expensive and new shiny thing. And then they use whips and then they're really bad at using them well. And then they make it your problem. And that's my soapbox about whips. And then I seen about 20 minutes of being flogged, and my domina caned my butt. No marks from the caning because she was just starting, and the dungeon manager called, and then all scenes as time was up. I have uploaded these pictures of my marks on my FetLife profile. My profile name is Dernwin for anyone interested, and then their name is also in the chat here on YouTube if you want to go check that out. But thank you so much for sharing. It sounds like you had a really fun time. I like that you got to be on both sides of the slash and got to do like a little bit of everything. It sounds like, at least impact play wise. So very fun. I'm curious, between all the stuff you got to do, like between the fire and the whips and the caning and the other things, like what was your favorite sensation to receive? Is this stuff you've done before? Is this like new stuff for you? Because you got like a nice little sampler platter going on there. I've just seen more fire play lately here at LA parties and events. It has been to the last 2 or 3 events in some fashion. Somebody must have taught a class somewhere. That's pretty much what happens if there's like, why is everyone suddenly doing this thing in the dungeon? Like, I can always tell when there's been a new class for like, somebody's like taught a harness somewhere, like maybe a rope dojo locally has brought in somebody to teach a hip harness, and I go to the dungeon or a play party or something, and it's like, oh, why is everyone doing that harness? And it's like, oh, last week so-and-so was in town and everyone learned that harness, so we're all testing it out now. Same thing happens to other kinks as well, for sure. Yeah. Oh, I feel that. We don't do much impact, but Aaron has a thing for spanking me at parties, so that's when he pulls out that one. I think he gets into the idea of it being fun for the people we know to watch. Oh, yeah, like entertainment for the audience kind of thing. Twixie, thank you for the super chat. I wanted to let you know that your child wife day color video was brought up on one of my Hypno servers. I don't know how there's overlap there, but that is delightful. And I am grateful. I'm assuming it was the one that I made where I talked about the lady wearing the collars in that trad wife wearing the day collars because, you know, fashion. It's fashion. Are your messages being eaten? I don't see any other messages that have been eaten. I can check really quick. Oh, that's right. I'm on channel activity. Okay, let's, it depends. You might be using a word that's being flagged. No, I only see those last two messages from you. So I don't know, you might be using a word that's censored. If you're trying to, for example, say the word collar, that's like completely censored on my channel because I've had a lot of people weirdly do a lot of spam using the word collar. So it might be because of that. But yeah, I see the last two that you put in, but not the other ones. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not actively moderating anything is what I'm trying to communicate. So it's not like you have a secret. I haven't secretly muted you or something. Haven't actually done anything wrong, FYI. Just so you know. But if you want to make sure I see your chat, you can also do a super chat too, or use Streamlabs if you're having trouble with YouTube, because that goes through a different system, and then it shouldn't. If there's something that YouTube doesn't like, it goes through PayPal, and they're not gonna care unless it's a word I've manually censored. But thank you all so much for sharing. I left a Hypno party early to be here tonight. Oh, Twixie, I'm so flattered. I hope you had fun at the party when you were there. Is there a big Hypno community there? I very occasionally see Hypno stuff, but honestly, I imagine a lot of it isn't very publicly advertised on FetLife because there's so many restrictions around that content specifically. Like every once in a while I see something, but normally it's like, what do I see it be called? It's like, it's got a code name. It's like, this isn't what it is, but it's something like the Swirl Enthusiast Club. Swirl Enthusiast Club meeting. That's what they call it, which I think is very funny. It's like, no, I get what you're, or like maybe Pocket Watch Enthusiast Club or something. That would be very funny. I was recently in a Tradwife kink server only to realize that for about half of them it wasn't a kink. Wait, if it's not a kink, why are they in a kinky server about it? Do they see other people talking about being spanked and going to dungeon parties and they're just like, well, different strokes for different folks, I guess. Like, it seems like a weird ecosystem to mix up that way. Like, I'm not sure what to, like, you know, I don't know. They seem like they should be pretty different. But were the trad wives who were actually trad, like, cool about the people who were kinky? Or were they like, you should talk to Jesus about this. This is something that you and your husband should pray on. were they doing the, like, we'll pray for you thing? Is it like, whoa, being spanked by your husband and wearing cute dresses is fine, but I draw the line at using a paddle. I draw the line at having rules and structure in a contract in a relationship. Yeah, you can use that. Yeah, that went through. I mean, I think it's kinky, but they don't use BDSM vocabulary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess if they're not using kink vocabulary, is that weird? Is that like, I've never been in a space like that before, but like for people who are just trad, but then kind of do kink adjacent stuff, but then they don't use kink language, I just feel like that would be so confusing. Yeah. Yeah, actual misogyny is bad. It really sucks. You're like, oh, I think I found a group of my people. And you're like, oh, no, wait, this is the wrong group. Oopsie. Yeah, they were cool, but like very religious and constantly trying to bring God into it. I mean, I think that's probably like the biggest delineation. I know people in the kink community who either they're like very religious or they practice religion in a more traditional way, or they have, you know, they're Christian or something, but then maybe they don't practice like sort of mainstream Protestantism or anything like that, but they believe in God, and that's like somehow informs their dynamic or like the way they do kink. And also not even just Christianity, but I also know people who do the Judaism as well, and are more like in line with Orthodoxy. So it's not just Christianity, but if you're not a very religious person, and you're in a group of people that are like constantly being like, we're going to pray over that, or like praise God, or like in a non-ironic way, it's like, not my vibe, not my group of people. We have a question here from Mr. Beansman, which, by the way, you can use a super chat and I will get to your question ASAP. So that's a good way to make sure your question gets answered immediately. They say, planning a service sub scene with Miss where I do regular household chores in my maid outfit. Any ideas for punishments during? Ooh, punishments. So I think being hit by whatever cleaning, like utensil, cleaning object you're using is like a fun way to do a little punishment scene. Like if you're like, I don't know if you're gonna like actually do like serious deep cleaning, if you're gonna do like tee-hee-hee French made ineffective cleaning, but like still a little clean, maybe just not, not up to modern standards of cleanliness, maybe. Like, have a little feather duster, getting like bopped a couple times with a feather duster when it's, just because of something that she, wants to do is fun. I also think anything, especially if you're going to be on like hands and knees a lot, I think stuff involving that can be fun too. So being made to like kneel in something, or like an idea that I've had recently that I haven't actually implemented is like wearing knee protection, like wearing knee pads, because like there's actually a medical thing that's called like maid's knee that you can get from kneeling too much on your knees. By the way, it's a real thing. It's not very common these days, but it is around. So you wear knee protection because you don't want to get maid knee, but you can kind of like jimmy something in between your knee or your leg and the knee protection. So you could put like rice in there, you could put cereal in there, you could put Legos in there, like little tiny, like little teeny weeny Legos. You could put bottle caps in there. Like you could do things to make it more painful and have like subtle masochism where your partner isn't even doing anything to you. She could just have her little feet up, be sipping on a Tom Collins, reading her book outside with her sunglasses on, and you're still torturing yourself without actually having to have any direct involvement, which I think is fun to play around with. Spanking, obviously a classic for a reason, right? Always got to include the spanking. Also, anything with like general utensils, even if you're not using it right. So something with like a wooden spoon or a spatula, other kitchen equipment is fun. But those are some ideas from the top of my head. But the punishment is so subjective of like what counts as a punishment that I am 100% sure like what I would suggest for you of like what would count as a punishment. I also think anything that's like an impossible task, like a time-based predicament situation can be fun to play around with when your partner is like, you have 5 seconds to clean the floor. Like there is no physical way you're cleaning the floor in 5 seconds. Or they give you like a really, really long amount of time to do a very small task. Like it's like, I'm going to give you 30 minutes to wash this one glass, like, or a cup or something. And you're like, how do I preoccupy myself just washing one glass for 30 minutes? And so there's kind of a little bit of like a torture element in there. Also, I think electroplay could be fun as well. Like maybe something with like a TENS unit could be fun, or something that's like long distance, maybe with like a remote control. Like if you have like one of those like dog shock collars and you wear it around like your thigh or something, and then just like kind of randomly, like either randomly or maybe because you did something, or like they're like, I still see a spot. I think that would be fun. That's probably what I would do. Not even as a punishment. That would actually probably just be a scene for me because I don't really enjoy electroplay. Like it's not a fun thing. But if you do like electroplay and like you know, if shock collars are better used on people than on dogs. I'm not saying to wear one around your neck necessarily, but you can have a big enough strap where you can put it around a thigh, or you can put it around another part of your body. And then just, when you're slacking and it's like, stop daydreaming. You missed a spot. There's a crumb on the floor. Even if there's not really one, but they're fucking with you. I think that's fun to play around with. But anyways, that's my That's my way of constructing scenes. It's definitely not for everybody. Or just cleaning a whole room with your toothbrush, yes. Or with a toothbrush. Should not be the toothbrush you actually use unless you're about to throw it away and replace it. It's like a last hurrah for the toothbrush, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Doing pretty good. A little hot here. I'm a little bit hot. It's very hot outside. I'm trying to stay hydrated, but otherwise doing pretty well. A little eepy. A little bit eepy. We got name brand wooden spoons. Forgot what name. Oh, probably like William Sonoma or something. But it is thick. Leaves marks for days. Oh, yeah. You get a wooden spoon going fast enough, that sucker will leave some marks for sure. Definitely emotional sadism element is a fun one. Definitely agree on that. Yeah, definitely agree. I wish I could remember all the crazy stuff Aaron and I did a year one, because there was a lot of that kind of vibe. Well, I if you ever remember stuff, feel free to put it in the chat, because it does sound like you probably experimented a lot. As a sub, I love being consensually lied to. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I don't really like using the term like gaslighting play, or maybe I should make a video about that. Have I made a video talking about, like, I feel like I have a really old video talking about like gaslighting play. And maybe that we shouldn't call it that. But it's like, there's no good word for it that's like YouTube friendly. Because like gaslighting, I think, is maybe more YouTube friendly. But then the alternative term that actually has existed for a long time is like mindfuckery. But then like that has the F-bomb in it. And so like if you put that in a thumbnail and a title and in the video, YouTube's probably going to be like, that's a lot of F-bombs to be dropping all over the place in this video. So I think it's worth revisiting as a topic, because I do see it, like, I remember first seeing it on Tumblr, like, probably, like, 5-6 years ago, and it's kept being around, but I think, one, people don't really know what gaslighting is, and two, I'm sensitive about using any, like, criminal or abuse terminology in a kink way. Like, I don't really even like saying, like, rape play, for example, like, I think the motivations there are, like, too dissimilar, and I think it's, if you want to role play that experience, like, that's very particular, but I don't think it's like should be the umbrella term for all those kinds of activities. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents, I think, as like a community, like, because I think it just causes confusion for people, like when you're new to the scene, and then, you know, like, if you don't understand the difference between like it really happening and then somebody actually doing it to you that's in a consensual way, like, I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm trying to like just make it foolproof. Make it so like a new person walking in who's hearing a term for the first time, like, doesn't have an opening for like an unsavory dominant to be like, I can gaslight you and it's fine because it's a kink, or like making vanilla people confused about like kinky people are gaslighting each other and that's bad. But like, I'm not sure what like a good term for it is that's not just like using that same word and then perpetuating, because I think it goes the other way too. It's also like, if you're using the term gaslighting in a kink context, again, that makes it harder for people to identify gaslighting in the real world outside of a consensual context, and it creates more blurriness there, I think. Yeah. I think a reference to Taming of the Shrew might be a little niche. I think that might be a little too hope for people to be able to understand, but I do like it. I have not always had so many items on my wrist. I feel like this is like the most scene kid I think I've ever been in my life. This is the most scene I've ever been. But I've left stuff on from going to Thornwood last week, and I've taken the bracelets off, but like, I know I'm not ready to take stuff off yet until I actually like film my video talking about it, and then it'll go on the memory box. I feel like I'm like, this is like my equivalent of like leaving the Christmas tree up until New Year's, you know, like, I'm not ready to move on from the fact it's not Christmas anymore. Like, I know there's no presents under the tree, but let me keep the tree up for like another week just to enjoy that it's there. Yeah. I know, I'm not RAR XD maxing. I continue to use the XD emoticon until like probably a couple years ago. Like, it still pops out every once in a while, but that was firmly in my text lexicon for a hot minute. Change gaslighting to rack lighting for use in consensual context. That's funny. You know what? Let's workshop it. I'm there. All right. Okay. We're talking about Condi and scene kits. I've somehow been hypnosis and gaslighting. I've gotten way off track. How about let's actually answer a question? How about we do that? All right. Stuff is ginger tea. Ooh, I was actually thinking before the stream. I really want it. I have it made. Normally I make like a cold brew, like a Japanese style, like cold tea, like a summer tea, like a what is it? They have like buckwheat and like soba and stuff. That's really good. I haven't made it this year because I normally buy some, but I haven't had the opportunity to yet. But iced tea sounds really good. Cocoa and a banana. That is cocoa. So wait, is it hot cocoa? Oh, cool cocoa and a banana. So like chocolate milk. I mean, I'm very pro chocolate milk. Don't get me wrong. Banana sounds good though. Oh, tomorrow's going to be a big day. We're hosting a dinner party as the last big thing before all the moving goes down in September. I'm making lasagna. Perfect. That is an ideal dinner party item to make. Hope your lasagna goes well. And good luck with the moving too, because moving is a huge pain in the butt, and hopefully it will be over quickly and nothing will get damaged and you'll get settled right away. Ooh, yeah, and you've had a really good RSVP turnout. That's always fun. I hope that goes well. Kind of pressure though. It's like, ooh, everyone said they were gonna go. But I'm curious to hear about it later because it's been a long time since I've done a dinner party. I'm not, here's my kitchen. Does this look like dinner party material to you? I could fit 3 people on my island. That's it. It's pretty much good for like a polycule dinner, not dinner party. That's the max. You can have a triad. We can have a little trio up here for counter service, and that's all we've got. Because we're actually where I have my desk is like there's actually a big light overhead right above me, and this is supposed to be the like dining area. So my computer setup is actually where the dining area is supposed to be. So I actually have a dining table. But also I pretty much only eat girl dinners, so I don't really eat at a dining room table that often to begin with. It's actually kind of a novelty to like sit and eat at a dining room table. It actually kind of like weirds me out when I like go to visit like my parents and stuff and they have like a regular dinner set up. I'm like, what the heck? Like, we're gonna sit at the table and like there's silverware laid out. Like, oh, so antiquated, so cute. 6 if you've got people furniture. Oh, wait, you know what? That fair enough. Yeah, I guess I do have a couch so people could also have footstools and stuff. I refuse to use emojis and maintain text emoticons. If the smiley face was good enough for me, middle school is good enough for now. There are certain emojis I do use. I'm a big fan of the black heart emoji. I use that one a lot. That's like my signature. But I feel like people, like if I see anyone that uses more than like 5 emojis in a paragraph, I'm like, oh, we're not gonna get along. This is too many emojis. Unrelated, Evie, thank you for not spoiling the I fell in love with my psychiatrist TikTok. Normally I don't believe in spoilers, but seeing where it went from where it started was a trip. Oh yeah, oh fuck, camera overheated. Oh, I knew it was gonna happen eventually. Oh no. I've been immersed in darkness. Okay. Hopefully that'll be temporary. Oh, I made it almost an hour in for being 102 degrees outside. That's not bad. I think it could have done worse. All right. Well, I can still answer questions in the darkness, regardless. But yeah, if you haven't seen the I fell in love with my psychiatrist TikTok stuff, I mean, do I recommend diving into it? Not necessarily. It is a big time sink, though. But I did listen to they renamed their channel. It's Virtual Virtue is what it's called now. And they just did, and so it's this ex-Mormon couple, and the wife is a social worker, and they did like a 2.5 hour long stream about it, and that actually was very entertaining, educational. And also Dr. Kirk Honda, which is psychology in Seattle, he also did a really good like multi-part YouTube video series about it as well. So those are the two that I watched that I thought were good, because like if I'm gonna hear a take about it, I want to hear a take from like an actual professional who works in the field and understands social norms and like boundary setting with clients, and not just like random people who are like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But yeah, if you wanna spend 2.5 hours having something in the background while you deep clean. I had it on while I was cleaning the floor in my bathroom and in my kitchen this week. Like I got out and I scrubbed all the floorboards and got out my like linoleum cleaner, and you gotta have something on when you're waiting for all that stuff to soak in a little bit. Yeah, we're on Radio Evie right now. Okay, I'm gonna try to turn my camera back on, and then I'm gonna keep it on higher speed here for a little bit, and then I'll turn it back down. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Oh, thank you, Sean. Now there are more people in the chat. Here's the remaining Starter Stream gifts. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate it. If you would like to have a YouTube membership, you can enable that in the settings on your Google account. And if you're in the chat while we are streaming, you might be randomly gifted a membership. And that gives you access to our if you like, I know not everyone's into emojis, but if you do like emotes, we have some. So here's me dying in the heat. Here's me drinking my water. Here's my cute little paparina. I'm very sad, actually, that Bandita can't have bagels anymore now. Because her diet is very restricted at the moment. Because she's old and her little tummy can't take it. Yeah, has it really been almost a year? I guess it has been. We're coming on, yeah, 11 months. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna unlock the special 12-month subscriber milestone. You're gonna get that. It's a big deal. I don't know if I have a 2-year one yet. I don't know if I should even. I don't even know what I would do for that, because the 1-year one is so good. But welcome to all the new members. I also got a little sucked in. I watched Dr. Honda and then the Jordan. Oh yeah, Jordan McKay was their old channel name. Jordan and McKay videos. I appreciate how sensitive they were to everyone involved. Yeah, I think they did a really good job. Like, it was just some random person who's like, oh my god, this crazy lady with borderline personality disorder is this, or like, oh my gosh, this therapist is so terrible, how dare they. And I just, professional insight is always good. It's like, if there's something about, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good like kink equivalent to that. Oh, like the DDLG professor story, right? Like, do you want to hear about the DDLG professor story from somebody who like barely knows what DDLG stands for and only figured it out because they Googled it immediately before they started filming the video that they made? Or do you want a perspective on that from somebody who's like in the kink community, knows littles, knows like about age gap relationships and all that stuff? Like, which one would you rather have? I think getting the inside scoop from somebody who's like in the community is probably gonna do you one better. But yeah. Alrighty. I'm scrolling back up here. I think I missed some of the early parts of the chat because my camera died and I wasn't looking at them. So I do apologize. But we're talking about gaslighting right now. Halloween candies in the grocery stores. Well, I haven't been into a grocery store in a couple weeks, so I haven't seen that, but it wouldn't surprise me. At least wait until September, but I guess, I gotta wait for it to go on sale, get it in bulk, buy it slowly over time. Moving to your general area soon. Oh, Best Kinky Spaces. Went to the Velvet Rope. It was fantastic, but more kink positive than kinky. Yeah, the TVR is like ran by swingers. It is primarily a swingers club. Probably the best spaces that we have around where I live would be Sub Rosa, which they host educational events, and you can rent the space, but they don't have dungeon play parties there. But they do have, Sub Rosa does have I think a monthly munch they do. You could check that out. The space itself is really nice. It's very well appointed, and it's ran by some pro doms. And then Sanctuary is probably the biggest public dungeon. It's also ran by swingers, but it is like the kinkiest out of the clubs ran by swingers that also have bars at them. I personally am not a fan of kink venues that are also bars. I have basically never had a good experience at that. It's just not my thing. And you do get a lot of looky-loos there. You get a lot of people that are just watching on the sidelines. It feels more like a bar that has a space for kink than like a dungeon. But that's probably the best one out there for public dungeons. And then when you get to know people in the area, there's more play spaces. There's things actually that are outside of the immediate Portland metro area that are also pretty nice. So I know people host private play parties, but there's a lot of public venues. But there's not one singular one that's really nice, the way that there is in Seattle. Seattle has one really big, pretty nice kink venue, and there's some that are farther south and farther north are kind of relatively attached to the scene there, but aren't the dungeon. Whereas I feel Portland doesn't have the dungeon space, but it has 3 or 4 options that all host kind of varying levels of kink events. Also, look how cute my dog is. Ta-da. Holidays are a wolf to holidays. Horrible holidays against all. I'm not sure. Oh, Christmas already defeated Thanksgiving, so Halloween needs to conquer August just to be safe. Yeah. It's expanding its territory to ensure its long-term survival. I mean, I hope Halloween sticks around. You gotta have fun little holidays to dress up. We need more dress-up holidays. We went to Sub Rosa too, but we wanted more of a kinky dungeon party. Yeah. It's hard to find kind of that space in Portland outside of private venues. But even then, it's still different when it's in somebody's home. But hopefully that points in the right direction. And there's a couple other venues that I'm not naming that are in the Portland area. But honestly, really just go to FetLife and just go to FetLife, go to events, search Portland, and then just work your way through the calendar for the next month, and you'll find what the big venues are. You'll figure them out. But they all have different, I don't know, there's a lot of internal drama related to a lot of dungeon spaces around here that I don't want to get into because it's convoluted and annoying, and I don't when I'm here, I don't tend to go to in-person public dungeon parties. It's just I don't like going to venues that have bars in them, and also COVID risk profile. I try not to go to public events unless I'm masking and I'm using nasal spray and stuff, and it's a whole thing. Yeah. Oh, never been on FetLife. Oh my god. Okay, if you're just trying to find stuff not on FetLife, please go. I know FetLife is scary. They have a lot of new features that they've rolled out in the last couple of years that make it a lot easier to not be spammed by people you don't want to have communication with. But literally, if all you do is make an account, you don't even say you're in Portland, you can just say you're in Antarctica or Guam or something, and you can search for events in Portland and have no one interact with you. Just have a blank profile, just use it to find events, and that's it. Never talk to anybody. That's totally fine. Yeah, find your local goth club. That's definitely an option. There is actually a really nice goth club here in Portland, but they have a fetish ball every once in a while, but it's not the main thing that they do. And there's burlesque stuff that they do. There's other things, but there's nothing that's kinky that happens regularly there, to my knowledge. There is a big overlap. The big goth club is also very close to Sub Rosa. It's in the same neighborhood generally. It's not the same block or anything, but they're really, really close. Yeah. Yeah, good evening, Deviants. Welcome. Yeah, will do. Thank you. Yeah, definitely I know FetLife is scary, but it's worth it to make an account just because there's so much that's on there that you're not going to see in other websites. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think I stumbled across a movie review channel that's also you. Possible. I would love to know what channel this is because I don't have a movie review channel, but the idea that I have a secret second YouTube channel for movie reviews is really funny. So I don't know if it'll probably remove it if you put a link to a video in the chat, but if you tell me what the name of the channel is, I am fascinated because I want to know who my YouTube twin is. So many Antarctica girls on FetLife makes me want to move there. Yeah. Okay. I haven't been on FetLife in like 5 years. I hate how every site changes for the worse over time. I mean, I've been more active on FetLife recently, and I find, like, I don't seek out interactions with people on there. Like, I'm not trying to have conversations. I'm not, like, trying to talk to strangers on there. Like, I don't engage with it the way that it would with, like, Twitter, for example. I'm on there to talk to people that I already know, mostly from real life, and find, like, saucy pictures and ideas to, like, send to my partners to be like, wouldn't this be fun to do? And, like, keep up to date on events and, like, when new things are happening. That's basically it. And I actually feel like I have a pretty good time using FetLife now. Oh my God, y'all. Okay, actually, side note to that. So there's been an update to FetLife messaging, so you can set your inbox so you can get private messages on FetLife. And you can set it up to where you have different levels of, like, either only friends can message you, or only friends can message you and everyone goes to, like, a message request folder, as opposed to your direct inbox. Oh no, my stream dropped frames. Oh no, hopefully I'm still connected. Oh dear. Okay. Uh-oh. It's happening again. Fuck. Okay. I lost internet service for like 6 hours yesterday. Or not yesterday. Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. And they are doing network improvements right now. So I hope I'm actually still live and didn't get disconnected just now. Okay, I think it seems... Okay, good. We are still connected. Thank goodness. All right. I do... So on Patreon, I do, like, movie commentary watch-along stuff on my Patreon, though. So that is on there. I don't do it super often, but I have, like, 50 Shades of Grey. I have Secretary. I recently did one for S&M Judge. We've done different, like, documentaries and stuff as well. So, like, I do technically do movie reviews. I don't typically post them on YouTube because... Oh, we did Baby Girl. Because, one, they're just a huge pain in the ass to, like, edit and put together. But they almost always get removed for, like, copyright stuff. So I don't know how movie review channels, like, exist as a thing. Because I have not ever been able to figure out how to manage it. Like... I post a review and it always gets, like, claimed, and then, like, the worst part is when it gets claimed and it's not viewable to anyone. Like, I've had that a couple times, like, when I was doing my review for Secretary, that ended up just, like, giving up and putting it on Patreon instead. When I was originally recording that and then editing it, I kept re-editing it, and it kept being, like, blocked worldwide. Like, no one was going to be able to see the video, and then it's like, okay, well, then, like, what the fuck is the point? You know what I mean? You look blurrier. Oh, well, I am, like, if I wave stuff around, like, if I do this, like, it'll defocus on my, I'm fiddling with my nail file. So if I temporarily look blurry, it might also just be because it's decided that something besides my face is, like, more interesting to focus on for some reason. But yeah, FetLife inboxes have really changed, but oh God, I got a message earlier this week from somebody, because I was at an event, so I was like, you know, friending people that I met there, and, you know, all the usual stuff, and then that inevitably attracts people that have, like, never seen your profile before, but, like, are friends of a friend of a friend of a friend or whatever, that, you know, are vaguely in the same area. And I got a question on FetLife that I've never gotten before that was just, it threw me for a real loop, and I could not figure out, like, what the motivation for it was. Like, is this a fetish thing? Is this like an opening line where you're like, well, is this like bragging? I don't know. But they asked me if I think all men should be circumcised or not. And I'm like, I'm not going to respond to this. And then they followed that up. Like, they sent me that message, and then, like, 12 hours later, they sent me a friend request. And I'm like, that's weird timing. And I didn't answer the message, obviously. And I can't even see that I read it or not because it was in my message request folder. I just find that to be like, I'm like, what was the purpose of this? Are you gonna be like, are you gonna tell? Of course, their profile was just like 100 pictures of a bunch of different women that they fucked, but never of like a woman's face, which I personally find to be distasteful. Like, it's not as bad as like just a dick pic and nothing else, but like a close second for like worst kind of profile to have on FetLife are like faceless photos of like 50 different women with like your cum somewhere on them, or like them being naked in your bed. Like taking photos of your conquests and then like documenting them on FetLife like you're a trophy hunter is like fucking like, and not even kink stuff. Like, it's not like we had a fun scene, we did some bondage. Like, no, just some guy who's like, look at all these women that I've allegedly, according to the framing of this photo, I've had sex with. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you've done several YouTube commentaries on other people's YouTube vids that I find very insightful. Oh, thank you. Yes, I try my best. Subreddits, probably. If you're getting really niche, if you're like, where do I find something for like cougars or mommy doms who want boys, or like if you're getting niche, subreddits are the way to go, or maybe possibly finding a Discord chat around that, but I think Reddit's probably the way to go, honestly, between the two, depending on what the kink is. But especially when it's like sexual stuff, like, are there cougars and hot wives and people like that on FetLife? Like, yes, but it's not the main demographic on FetLife, and finding people like that locally can be difficult. Yeah, it's a little gross. Yeah, strange headless woman photos, yes. Usually, sometimes they have the head in, but it's like the back of their head and then their hair. Which, like, okay, I wouldn't want a photo of just, like, my straight-up face that a stranger took of me. Like, also, but, like, the fact you can't see their face and the fact they're always looking away makes me really worried that the photos aren't consensual. Like, is this like we're taking a sneaky pic in the hotel room before you kick him out, you know? Like, just seems weird. Yeah, it's very gross. Yeah, those profiles are clearly for the male gaze. Yeah, I know. It's clearly there to impress other men. Because, like, but then they message people like me, and it's like, what in anything I've ever said anywhere makes you, one, think I have an opinion about what the shape of penis somebody has, and then two, that, like, you could somehow segue that into a conversation with me. Like, what? Yeah, those women don't have eyes. Yeah, they don't. No, not allowed. Yeah, women don't look at anything. Women, actually, they don't actually want to have photos taken of them, so you have to do it, like, sneakily without anyone noticing. Anyways, let's chit-chat about things that aren't FetLife being terrible. Good luck, Lexi. Have fun at your party. Bye. A light out is nice when you have a good group of people gathered. Yeah, a little dim, little mood lighting. Oh God, I watched one YouTube video of that woman in love with her therapist. It's crazy. Yeah, it was. Quite the story. Quite the story. I mean, as somebody who makes internet content for a living, I've never had anyone who's like that level with me, but I know of people, and I've had interactions with people in real life, in public, and also over the internet. Like people making like very inappropriate assumptions about a relationship that I don't actually have with them. And it's very uncomfortable. So as like a content creator, I relate to that experience because I know what it's like to have somebody who's like totally misread something and is like thinking there's a relationship there when there's not, or mutual attraction when there's not. And like, ooh, that's, you get somebody who's like obsessive with you that way. It's not good. Not good at all. I don't have it too often, but it does happen occasionally. I'm so excited to join FetLife now. Well, the thing is if you have a blank profile with nothing attached to it, and you're not listing a location or RSVPing to anything, no one's gonna. You can actually make it so your profile doesn't show up in search results. I think based on location at least. So if you just turn that off and shut down your message, if you don't post anything, if you have no photos. And you turn off your inbox to make it friends only, and then you don't friend anybody, no one can interact with you on the website. You won't see anything. You will just be on there to look at events, and no one will have any way to interact with you on there unless you make a way for them to interact with you. Which is what I recommend for people who only want to be on there to browse events, is just like lock everything down, don't join any groups, don't post any photos, don't do anything at all, don't friend anybody even, and just only use it to browse and shut everything else down as much as possible. Maybe you could, I think your profile photo has to be public, so people, I don't know if you can turn off comments but then still have it be like publicly viewable for photos. But that would be another option too if you just wanted to have something on there. Yeah, you can completely make it so like no one can interact with you on there if you don't want them to. It's actually better than other social media that way. Yeah, I mean, it is the way to find events, so it's kind of just that. I've never heard of an app called FET before. I've never tried it, so I don't know if it's good or not, but FetLife is still going to be where most things are at. And then in some areas of the country, Plura or like the Bloom Community app can also have some events on it, but most of those are going to be duplicates of what's also on FetLife. So, yeah, I don't have any. Listen, I'm not holding back. I don't have any secret recommendations for a website I've never told you guys about. If I find something new, I will tell you all about it, but I don't, like, social media is part of my job. I'm not looking to join other random social media apps just to check them out. I'm not trying to find other kinky social networks to be on. Like, it's overwhelming enough for me to be on the apps that I'm on just for work stuff. I don't need to add more. But yeah, you shouldn't. I don't recommend ever paying for an app. I don't think that's a good idea. I unironically, you're being sold on FetLife. Oh yeah, because you can make everything like totally private. Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do it. And if you want to, get ideas for scenes and stuff, it's not a half bad way to do that. If you find people locally, like there's people who post stuff just to get them like kinky and popular. It's like very kind of like pornographic, and maybe you like that. That's totally fine. But if you want ideas for scenes and stuff, there's lots of writings and pictures that people will take that are good for that. I've lived in Florida, but not as an adult. I don't know of any, I don't know of the reputation of any dungeons in Florida. The only dungeon that I'm aware of in Florida is the Woodshed in Orlando, but I don't know if that's a good dungeon, a bad dungeon, what its current reputation is. Do your own research, but that's the one that I know of that seems to be pretty big. I don't know if there's one that's, in Miami or somewhere, but there is one in Orlando. Yeah, I don't know, give us the goods. I've given you the goods. I don't have anything else to give. That's all I've got. Okay. I recommend anyone watch the movie Gaslight. Good to know the origins now that the term has become so popular. I mean, it's a classic black and white movie. You should just watch it for that, just for that reason alone. Okay. I was like kind of like the Disney Channel theme song, I realized, but like not really. We're doing it at our local dungeon since none of our living situations support it. One of the ideas we had was having massive heels locked on my feet while stocking things in the kitchen. Oh, yeah. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, like having like really tall high heels and having them locked on when you're trying to walk around and do stuff. That's a fun one. You can wear it at your ankles. It's more intense than you think it might be. I only know about the candy because I love to buy big bags of Reese's. Yeah, before I was vegan, Reese's peanut butter cups were like the thing to buy for sure. They make vegan ones now. They have plant-based Reese's peanut butter cups, but probably not anything I can buy in bulk for Halloween, unfortunately, which maybe is probably good for me, but it doesn't mean that I'm happy about it either. I like how, I don't remember the name, the voice just reminded me of you. Damn it! Nah, I don't know what oh, that's unfortunate. Well, if you can go through your watch history and tell me who it is later. And now I'm very curious, but I don't have any idea how I would look that up to figure out who has my voice, who also reviews movies on YouTube. But apparently is faceless, and so you can't tell if they're me or not. Or maybe they also look like me too, but apparently film in a different location than where I film my kink videos. I don't remember the name. Just voice me. Yeah. Yes, I do movie and show reviews on my Patreon. Correct. And then don't ask personal questions about my sex life because I'm not going to answer them. And I don't think you'd like any answers I would give anyways. So just barking up the wrong tree. Okay, good. Stream's still connected. I did lose a bunch of the chat when that happened though. So like if you asked a question in the first hour of the stream and I haven't gotten to it yet, please re-ask it because being briefly disconnected made it so I can only scroll back like 15 minutes in the chat and I have no idea what people are saying like an hour ago because I know for sure I missed questions. I don't know of any good cougar apps. I've never been on any of them. I think it's more than a couple seconds of unedited footage. If you have longer clips, you have to edit it to get to the point faster. Oh, okay, I see. Ba-ba-dum. Gatorsburg. Yeah, Gatorsburg is definitely the capital of Florida. Yeah, it's Tallahassee. Have you gone vegan? Is there any good option to substitute my floggers? Yes, I've been vegan, so I was vegetarian starting when I was 19, I think, was when I went vegetarian, and then I've been vegan since before COVID, maybe like 7 years. I've been vegan, I think, for like 7 years now, because yeah, I think I went vegan when I was like 24 or 25. So I still have like floggers, and I still have a lot of leather goods that I bought from like before I went vegan. But the problem with like vegan replacements for things like floggers is the replacements for them are things like rubber and silicone, right? But rubber is like very, very stingy, and both of those materials are a lot more dense and don't have the same kind of squish that like animal leather would have. Even like I don't really see people make floggers from vegan leather replacements. Like I don't really see floggers made from like apple leather, for example. But even if you did, that would still be more like latigo leather. Like it would still be quite firm and hard. Like it doesn't have that squish to it. And like if you use something like polyurethane as a vegan leather replacement, your flogger would fall apart basically immediately. It's not worth it. So if you like stingy, you have lots of options. You could use bootlace, like synthetic bootlace. You could use rubber. Those ones are going to be pretty stingy. For vegan materials they're not like one-to-one the same as a leather flogger, but are kind of similar. You could also do like rope or yarn. You could either do sort of more of like a kind of nine-tails style where you have like individual rope falls that are pretty quick, like thick and then knotted on the end, or they'll get like a synthetic, like a nylon rope, and they'll unravel it and they'll make like really big, like fluffy floggers with it. So that's an option. I've also seen people do like mean stuff with their floggers. That way you can do different knots and like, you can have them be a lot of them, but have them be really thin and then put like beads on them and things like that. And then what was the other? There's like yarn and rope. And then there was another vegan flogger replacement that I just had on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember what it was. But floggers specifically are kind of difficult. Other impact play gear, it depends on what sensations you like, but like wood obviously is vegan, so like paddles are pretty easy. You could even do like a fabric padded paddle that's not as sanitary as leather because it's harder to clean. But if you like a leather paddle and you like especially those like padded leather paddles, you can do like a padded paddle that's made out of fabric. A lot of people also like fire hose. Actually, I've seen floggers made out of fire hose as well. People will upcycle fire hose. And that is relatively thuddy, especially if you fill the fire hose with something. Like a lot of people do like fire hose paddles where they'll fold it over. And so it's like a big loop basically. And because it doesn't have any hard edges on it, it's less stingy than it would be if it's like it falls on a flogger. But I still think those are pretty thuddy. There's an all-time classic, which is you get a sock, you draw a little face on it, and then you stuff it full of something. You could do like quarters. You could do like tennis balls. You could do all kinds of stuff. Beads, probably rice. You can, those are actually one of my favorite toys, because it kind of ends up being like a sap, and it's funny. But again, it's not really like a flogger, but it is still it is still thrown. But, yeah, vegan leather, like whips and floggers and stuff, unless it's like rope or something, or paracord, actually. People do paracord as well, not for floggers, but for whips. Paracord whips they're actually cheaper than kangaroo leather, and they're pretty good. They're not, I think, exactly the same as for throwing it. At least the quality is a little different, but you're not being hit with all that part of the whip, right? If you're using a single tail, you're only getting hit by the cracker, and like that's going to be the same on a paracord as much as it is on a kangaroo leather flogger. So sensation wise, it doesn't really make that big of a difference for whips, at least. Kombucha flogger. I knew a guy who made wallets and stuff out of kombucha leather. Wait, what? Is kombucha... I sound very dumb. Is kombucha a plant? I know people make like cactus leather, but that's also, again, it's like a lot of leather replacements, like vegan leather replacements, they're very firm, they're very dense. It's more like a latigo. And so if you're using like a cactus leather, apple leather, or like a biothane, they're all really dense. They don't have that squish. That's the part that's missing, is it doesn't have, it's not as porous, and it doesn't have as much give to it. And that's what changes the sensation of a flogger. So you can have a really, really super stingy flogger that's made out of like a latigo, right? Or like cow leather that tends to be, especially bullhide. Oh, but maybe not bullhide. Bullhide can be a little squishy, but like cow leather can be like quite heavy, but then also is more rigid, and so it doesn't have as much squish and give to it. Whereas like elk and moose, they're quite dense, but they have a lot more squish to them. And so when those sensations tend to be more thuddy as opposed to stinging on the surface. But now I'm looking up kombucha leather. Oh my god, no, you're right, it's real. Oh my god, somebody put it over a body form? What the fuck is this? You know what? If you want to do like a Vampire the Masquerade, like a Simsy like cosplay thing, maybe you could use this. It's kind of giving Lady Gaga meat dress. It'll probably blur the screen. I don't know if you guys can actually see that very well with like the white balance, but you get the idea. Weird. That's just fucking weird looking. It looks too flesh-like. It looks too flesh-like. It freaks me out, actually. Are these durable? How they look very like fragile. It looks very like papery, actually. It looks like, I get it. Oh, somebody made like a leather jacket out of it. That's crazy. Oh yeah, look at this. Like somebody made a leather jacket out of it. Again, you guys probably can't see this because of the white balance is going to be fucked up on the phone, but like, look at that. That's, wow. Wow. That's very impressive, actually. But again, it just looks like it doesn't look like it would last up to hitting somebody. They learn something new every day. Kombucha leather. That's, wow. No idea. I had no idea that was a thing that existed until right now. Kombucha leather is made from the rubbery kombucha mushroom, which is a bacteria in the yeast colony. I can't exactly do it though. Yeah, it looks like it was the SCOBY is what they were getting, which is, yeah. Oh yeah, yes, it's chainmail. I forgot about chainmail. Yeah, rubber and chainmail. I've never actually been hit by a chainmail flogger or like a thrown implement. I think I have a vague memory of somebody using like a chainmail spanking mitt on me. Like it was like a leather mitt and then it had like chain over part of it so you'd be hit with it. That's something I'm really interested in trying out sensation wise. Chainmail floggers, and when I've seen them at conventions, they're like really expensive. Like they're like a couple $100 because it takes a lot of time to make all those links to make the handle and the falls. But I also, metal impact play toys are my favorite. Like my favorite impact play toys are basically just like stick of metal. Very simple, girl. My favorite impact play toys are boot and stick of metal. So if I can find a new way to be hit by metal, because this is the reason why. I love thud. Thud is my favorite impact, and I can go quite heavy with thud if it's the right toy and I've been warmed up. But if it's anything else that people will say is thuddy, I'm a princess in the pea when it comes to sting. If there's any sting in it at all, I will feel it and it will detract from my experience. And there's a difference. Like, if I'm doing a suffering crying scene, it's probably stingy. If I'm having a fun giggly scene, I'm probably doing just thuddy. But when it's those in-between things that can be like thuddy and stingy kind of mixed together, like certain floggers, certain paddles, certain materials, that's a little bit of like a confusing line for me to walk. But metal is like the one thing I've consistently found where if it's thick enough, I don't feel any sting from it. And it's just like pure thud, and that's all. Like, honestly, I have trouble believing people who say they don't like thuddy impact play. Like, it's like, I'm like, really? You don't at all? Like, nothing? Like, not even, like, lightly, but it's kind of like getting a massage? But I'd love to try a metal flogger at some point. It looks like fun. Like, the kind of like the monkey fist design ones. Yeah. Chainmail gloves being connected to an e-stim is also amazing. Oh, that's an idea. Guess I'm gonna start making tea again. Yeah. Oh yeah, like brewing your own homemade kombucha. Yeah, that'll take a while. It seems like it must be a really big project. I don't know how much you would actually get to make anything with. Yeah. As a lifelong vegetarian, I do sometimes use leather products, boots, jackets, for example, because they're better for the environment and longer lasting than vegan pleather, etc. Well, as a vegan, I will say that these days we have much better vegan garment options beyond pleather. Like, a lot of people will say, oh, well, but I buy, like a lot of, like, I buy leather secondhand. Like, I have leather garments and shoes that I buy secondhand. No problem with that. Don't need to buy them new. There's lots of stuff secondhand, especially as an American, that I have access to. Not an issue. But if I want to buy something new, there are a lot of vegan leather options out there that are really good. Like, Biothane is really good quality. Apple leather, cactus leather lasts way better than PU leather. Like, if anyone's like, oh, vegan leather sucks, it's just rebranded plastic. Like, PU leather, yes. But if you're buying stuff from like a vegan manufacturer, there are people who have actually put in the work with material science to make things that are higher quality even than some like leather garments are, to be honest with you. Because I have like leather boots that I've bought that have not held up. Like, I have a pair of Jeffrey Campbell leather boots that I bought a couple years ago, and it's leather, but it's bonded leather. So even though they were a very expensive, nice pair of shoes, they've started to wear away similarly to PU leather. So even having like real leather is not necessarily a guarantee that it's going to be super high quality. So anyways, don't make me rant about, don't make me talk about veganism, because I will share opinions that people won't like. Because I will be like, well, veganism is great. Vegetarianism is great, but I don't need another vegetarian to be like, but I love cheese so much, but there's not a good egg replacement, but blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. You do what you want to do. If you don't want me to be like, well, actually, as a vegan, here's my opinion about that, don't share thoughts that I might retort, just as a general thing. Oh, yeah, you could make leather toys out of secondhand leather, like a secondhand leather belt. Those are great. Upcycling like leather jackets and leather pants could definitely do. Yeah. I like the chains for breaking up sore muscles also. Ah, interesting. I like that idea. I find the sensation of thuddy toys more annoying than painful. Oh, annoying. Interesting. Because that's kind of how I feel about stingy. Like, really, like, especially like evil sticks and things like that. Like, really, like super pinpoint, really light stingy. That gets my adrenaline like whoosh, like just whoosh, adrenaline rush immediately. Like fucking like cold flash adrenaline rush stuff, and like that's kind of annoying to experience. But then general stinging also is just kind of like like I'm definitely enduring it for sure. It's definitely a suffering thing. They say that, although I've gone into subspace with canes before, which is like the only reason I entertain playing with canes is it tickles my brain in a way where like it kind of sucks, but then I also do get a really nice subspace out of canes. So like just suffering for the experience I want to have at that point. Oh, no, we're not replacing replacing you, Egg. Don't worry. You're here to stay. I'm the same way with Sting. Yeah. People have opinions. I got strong opinions about the Sting Thud dichotomy. I love Violet Wands and E-Stim. Yeah. I guess that sort of exists out of the Sting Thud dichotomy. There's like, you can kind of like, Violet Wands are more stingy-ish, and then TENS units are more thuddy-ish, but they're still different. Yeah, any amount of vegan you can be is good, yes. Reduction is always preferable. Harm reduction, always a good thing. We love harm reduction, but I am an annoying vegan, and I will, if people go, oh, well, but there's not a good cheese replacement, blah, 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 I am going to be annoying about it, because you never know. Maybe somebody doesn't know that this kind of thing exists, and they're like, oh, shit, well, thanks for telling me about the oat cheese. I'll go try the oat cheese. Maybe it's bomb. Cheese actually was hard in the beginning. It was hard, but then it's like, I just, I used to have cheese as a snack, like, all the time, and now I don't, and I just, like, don't miss it. It's weird. It's weird. My life has been spared to live to scramble another day. Brilliant. I love it. Is there a good Parmesan cheese or blue cheese replacement? Ah, yes, there is. Okay. The best feta cheese replacement is the Follow Your Heart feta cheese. It's got the, I know you didn't ask about it, but I'm following it up. Actually, Follow Your Heart, they've been around for a while. A lot of the, I don't know how to call it. Like, there's like, if you're looking for like sliced meltable cheeses, like for a grilled cheese or a pizza, I would not necessarily recommend Follow Your Heart, but if you want Parmesan, feta, and blue cheese, Follow Your Heart does make the best stuff, IMO, for all of those categories. Parmesan, you can buy a couple of different brands, and they're all good. I think Violife, if you get the like pre-shredded ones especially, they're good. I've tried, I think Violife has a block one that I wasn't as big of a fan of, but the feta, the Follow Your Heart feta, really good. Actually, I'm planning for my groceries for next week. I'm going to make like a watermelon feta pasta salad with Connemara olives and chickpea pasta, watermelon, cucumber, grapes, and the vegan feta, and maybe some like tofu crumbles in there as well. Just add in some extra protein, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think I've made it before. It's tasty. Oh my goodness, Paparina, what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we scratching our little eyeballs on the carpet? What's up? What's up? What's up, girl? I know I'm talking to you, huh? I know, I get it. But yeah, those are my favorite cheese replacements. There's actually a really nice vegan cheese store here in Portland that is about to move. It's called Vitopia, and they're having a 20% off moving sale right now, and I'm kind of stoked about it. Gonna get a walk on the way home? Ooh. Make a good walk decision. Oh, they just opened a ranch, like what is it, like 99 Ranch or whatever? They just opened a 99 Ranch here in Portland, and people like freaked out about it apparently. Like, it was like lines at the door for like an hour plus to get into 99 Ranch. So I'm actually probably going to do some grocery shopping there this coming week just to check it out, because they've got a lot of miso, and they got a lot of things that I think I would like. So yeah. Y'all talking about cheese and making me really crave that grilled cheese I'm going to make after the stream. Ooh, that sounds good. That does sound delicious. The only reason I haven't gone vegan, I got some rope floggers and rubber, and I tried a silicone one, but they were too soft rope or too stingy, but not as delicious as bullhide leather. I mean, I think you'd mix the two of them, or you could try like a firmer rope flogger, or try a different texture for the rope. Like, there's definitely ways to experiment, but like, if you really, really like flogging, you can always just try to get like floggers secondhand. Like, people sell them secondhand. People do, if you go to big community events, especially like leather events, like if you go to a leather convention, there's almost always some kind of auction, and people auction off like lightly used leather goods and leather toys all the time. So that's an option as well. Yeah. Also, hello, welcome back, Egg. This weekend, my partner and I, Katie, are going to go to the hair salon for her, and she's going to change her hair up in a big way. It's off subject, but I've been so excited. Ooh, oh, are you like dictating how the hair is going to change? Or is it like you're going to tell the hairstylist what to do? Or like what? Or is it not related to a scene at all, and it's just like, I'm just supporting my partner having a big hair change? Exciting either way. But big to do if it's like, I'm going to have my partner get a surprise haircut they don't know about before it happens. I would not trust someone like that, to be honest with you. I had a partner, God, probably what, like 7, 8 years ago now at this point, maybe 7 years ago. My partner cut my hair during a scene, and I had like pixie length hair. I had hair that was maybe to like here for like a while. And I had that for a little bit. I tried it. It was kind of a look. I feel like it made me look a lot older though. Like I don't think it was, maybe it was the way I had it styled or something. I don't know. But I didn't get it super, super short. Like I didn't get it like a full on like buzz cut. I like maybe, could I rock a buzz cut? I don't know. I feel like it would look really different if I had a buzz cut. But I love my long hair, and I'm not gonna like have it no matter what. But I also feel like I feel most like myself with long hair. And I don't really want to change it and suddenly have it be short again. And yeah, I don't know. I've also had like weird experiences with partners trying to make me more androgynous. Like I've dated people before they figured out what their sexual orientation or gender identity is, and then they project that onto me, and then they try to make me more androgynous, even though I am unfortunately a cis woman, and like pressuring me to present more androgynously than I would that feels good to me and feels affirming of my gender. Is it a thing that people talk about that happens? Because I've had a couple experiences like that where people, like partners in the past, have tried to like radically change how I look to be more pleasing to them, and it's like, why are you trying to make me... Like, I get the finding certain, like, okay, you like curly hair versus straight hair. Okay, whatever. But I'm talking about, like I would prefer if you would, like, you know, wear clothes that are boxier and, like, hide your shape and, like, cut your hair and do this, that, and the other and, like, not wear makeup or only wear very certain types of makeup. Like, trying to get me to not be feminine at all. And I feel like that's weird to do to somebody. Like... that's one of the things I struggle with, actually, that I feel like doesn't get talked about in conversations about power exchange, is like somebody having aesthetic control over you and like personal expression, because that's very important to me. And maybe it's not for other people. Like maybe you're just like, I don't want to think about how I dress. I don't really care. My body is a shell, whatever. My partner can tell me what I look like, how to do my makeup, how to do my hair, whatever. It's all for them. But for me, I feel like you should probably start on a place where you like your partner and you like how they look and you like what their gender presentation is, and then not try to change it subtly over the course of a relationship, in my humble opinion. I am definitely a dog person for sure. 99 Ranch does the coupons for their deli, $1 for like every $15 or $20 that you spend. Totally recommend not letting those go to waste. Ooh, that sounds good. Although I don't know what I would get in the deli. They probably don't have a lot of vegan deli options, or do they? Actually, the pictures from the Portland 99 Ranch store looked very nice. Like, it's a very big store. It looked very nice. So I'm excited about it. No, he's just supporting me, LOL, because neurodivergent and getting a big change. Oh, fair. Yeah. No, it's good. Gotta have a support person there for sure. Especially hair cutting. That can be very sensitive for neurodivergent people. Totally get it. I got some alopecia on and off, and also get really annoyed with a sensory nightmare that is long hair. I chopped it about a year ago. No going back, LOL. I mean, hey, more power to you. If that's your thing. I don't mind the sensory aspect of it. Like, I don't really notice. I think other people notice, but it's also really funny because, like, some of my partners also have really long hair, and sometimes it's just like, it's, you know, gotta make sure you bring the hair ties and the clips to the dungeon. I made that mistake. Oh my god, I made that mistake for Thornwood. I came into Thornwood, I had my hair braided, actually. I had like a big mohawk braid, and I thought I was gonna have that the whole weekend. Turns out, ponytail braid, not enough to withstand being dragged through the grass and the dirt and having your face rubbed in the dirt and in the grass repeatedly for like 2 days in a row. And so I unexpectedly needed a lot of hairstyling equipment that I didn't have access to at all. And my poor hair suffered, and I didn't have any hair clips, no hair ties. I had to borrow a hair clip from somebody. Oh, that was awful. This is like the first time I've actually had my hair like straight and like styled the way that I like, and not just air dried overnight in a like a bonnet. And it feels so good to have my hair like, it's soft and it's like the cuticle is smooth. It's not frizzy, thank goodness. Just find a different person at that point. It's not about I'm not about dictating fundamental changes about a person. Just be with a person who already has those qualities. Yeah. Or like there are people, I do want to say there are people out there where they do really, really high level power exchange. And for them, what they would get out of allowing their partner to change that about them is more than what they get from a sense of personal expression through like clothing and hair and makeup and things. I'm not that way, especially because my appearance is part of my job and part of my like branding, I guess you could say. And having that suddenly radically change would like not be comfortable for me. And again, I've tried it once. I did it. I tried the pixie cut. Not for me. Nope. The only time I could see myself doing a radical hair change is like if I ever got a mom cut or if like something really damaging happened to my hair, like some kind of freak accident and I had to shave off part of it. Maybe I get a head injury and like they have to like shave out a chunk of my hair, you know? Maybe I'll just buzz it all then just to have it all be one length. I don't know. Like it'd have to be pretty drastic. Oh, yeah, couldn't subject your service dog to the heat. Yeah, fair. It wasn't that hot when we were there. It was in like the mid-80s, but I totally get that. And there were lots of places to cool off, lots of shady spots, lots of trees, but still, yeah. Gotta put the pupperinas first and the puppadinos. I have a big scene coming up. I'm going to get to see one of my tops the day of to go get it trimmed to do some maintenance. Ooh, fun. Seems like a good time. For rope floggers, if you want them stiffer, either back splice the strands before you join to the handle or use a crown knot to make the strands heavier. Ooh, high level advice there. I do love a good crown knot. Love a thistle knot, love a crown knot. Good stuff. It's her choice, but if they're to be supportive, it'll take 5 hours. Ooh, like a big color job? Yeah, okay. But it'll be worth it. Plus, we're going to go with snacks and stuffed animals for support. We're bringing it all with us. Oh, that's so cute. That's adorable. I love it. Going to the hair salon can be a very long endeavor. It's good to have a buddy with you. My mom used to make me miso soup with tofu when I got sick. That sounds really nice. I love a good miso soup. Honestly, this is my favorite breakfast. I love a little miso soup in the morning, especially when it's a little cold outside. Like, I'm not a breakfast person. I don't like orange juice. I like pancakes for brunch or even lunch, really. Ideally dinner, to be honest. But if I am going to have something in the morning, if I want to like wake myself up in the morning, even over tea, like over hot tea or like coffee, miso. That's my choice for sure. It's got electrolytes in it. It's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes. It's a little salty. It's maybe not the best idea to start the day off with something that's like so salty. Maybe is that good for your blood pressure? I don't know. Does that affect your blood pressure? But I like it. I think it's like the only thing I've ever had that's like, oh, that's like a light thing I could sip in the morning that doesn't make me feel sick and actually like I don't just have 2 sips of and then immediately forget about. Miso soup is a top 3 soup. It really is. My favorite soups are butternut squash, pumpkin curry, and miso. I like a good creamy soup. Chunky soups are okay. Is chili a soup? Is chili a soup? Or is chili a chili? Are those separate enough to say that they're different? Because if chili would probably have to be on there. I used to not like chili at all as a kid. I really like my mom's stew recipe, but I haven't had that in fucking ages. Probably like 15 years because vegetarian and then vegan. I have made homemade stew before, but it didn't taste the same. Wasn't the same. To be fair, my parents are very... well, they're not spice avoidant. My parents like spicy food, but they're seasoning avoidant. And so I've had a lot of food as an adult that I like had as a kid that just did not have any seasoning in it whatsoever. Listen, outside of the bit, egg drop soup is to die for. Is that cannibalism? You have egg drop soup. I have not had egg drop soup in a very long time. Everything is soup if you think about it hard enough. Yeah, everyone, humans are fish. Everything is soup. Oh, goodness. I could change my entire theme to cheese and just have as much enthusiasm as I do for eggs. Call me a rat. I love cheese. I mean, I think rats also like eggs, don't they? I don't really think they're that picky. It's not 1-to-1, but for a similar vibe as sprinkled cheese on top of stuff, I do nutritional yeast. Also, yeast on popcorn is a really good snack. Oh yeah, I put nutritional yeast in fucking everything. I made buffalo chicken yesterday, and I'm probably going to make it today. And you know what I put in it? Vegan butter, hot sauce, nutritional yeast, lemon pepper. That shit is the bomb.com. All right, if you want the best buffalo anything you've made in your life, all right? This is a little down home southeast secret, all right? Buffalo sauce plus lemon pepper. That's the best combo. That's the best combo for a spicy wing, let me tell you. In my personal humble opinion. But I do soy curls. I actually make tofu with it today because I'm running low on soy curls. So I actually haven't made like air fried buffalo tofu before. So it'll be a fun little experiment for me. I have a very refined way of processing soy curls to make them exactly perfect the way that I like. I do like beans. Beans are good. I do like a garbanzo, a cannelli bean even. Brains are wild. We can adapt to pretty much any change with time and focus. That's true. Or even like lack of focus. Like if you just forget it's there, you're like, oh yeah, cheese. What about that? But I like my pizzas. I do like cheese on stuff. Love a nacho. Have nachos all the time. Actually, one of my partners who's vegan, them and I have vegan nachos like probably like 50% of the time that they hang out because it's like a safe food. Like it's like, what are we gonna have for dinner? I don't know. Do you want nachos? I'm like, yeah, I want nachos. And then nachos are made. It's nice to have a routine, you know. It's nice to have a routine. Barbecue soy curls. I like do A1. I don't like not buffalo, sorry. Barbecue is hard because I don't like sweet barbecue. I like a good mustard-based, vinegar-based, Carolina-style barbecue because I'm a pickle girl. Or if I'm not going to have that, I like an A1. I do an A1 marinade. But if by default, if I'm not making anything else and I'm in the mood to have soy curls, it's probably going to be buffalo 9 times out of 10. But occasionally, if I feel like it, and maybe if I'm craving, like I just want A1 sauce, I will just make soy curls with A1 sauce. I normally put Worcestershire actually in the buffalo as well. If I'm making like a big enough batch of it, like if I'm meal prepping and I'm doing like buffalo salads for lunch that week, but honestly, sometimes I do it as like a struggle meal and I'm just kind of eyeballing stuff in a glass measuring cup and then I probably don't add the Worcestershire to it. If you like a much heavier thud, you could also make a rope fender. A rope fender with a similar method. I've seen people make like rope loopy toys where they get like a really, really thick piece of rope and they loop it around and then make a finishing at the end. Is that a rope fender? What is a rope fender? I'm tempted to make my own from a barbecue tempeh recipe. It's the bomb. I do like tempeh. And again, beans are good. We do like a good bean. I love making homemade hummus, actually. Edamame. Love edamame. That's delicious. But yeah, not a sweet barbecue person. That's like a hard no for me. Sweet barbecue? Ugh. No. Maybe if I'm having it with something else that's like cuts through it, like if something really sour, maybe. Maybe, but like there's a lot of barbecue that's like very sugary and I'm just like, ugh. It makes sense if you're making something really smoky. If you're making like smoked ribs and the barbecue sauce is sweet, that's a flavor combo that makes sense. But if I'm making something at home and I'm not actually using a smoker and it's not like grilled, I feel like the sweet, if you're not getting that caramelization and that charcoal and that smokiness from a grill, like it just doesn't hit the same. It's just too much. It's too sweet. Yeah. Thank you we're all just like talking about food and I kind of love that, to be honest. It's going to be 140 here on Sunday. Oh no, is that hot enough to cook an egg? You don't go out on any sidewalks, egg. Go to the ocean. Flee to the ocean. Actually, I might spend some time by the pool tomorrow. It'll probably be full of kids, but you know what? Needs must. Needs must. I'm not above it. The kids can splash around me. It's fine. I'll live. Ooh, half-dyed pink. That's cute. I love a little half-dye. I've thought about that before, but the problem is I don't want to commit to any one color for makeup, and I don't want to not wear any one color for makeup. And I don't want to, like, it's like, oh, well, if I do green, then, like, red's going to look Christmassy, you know? If I get pink, then, like, that's too girly. And, like, well, if I do purple, then, like, red might look kind of weird if it's not the right kind of red, and la, 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 la. And it's just a whole thing. So, anyways, I just do black. Maybe at some point I'll get, like, a money piece or something, and I'll probably, by the time it's go out of style, I'll get a money piece. And I'll do a streak of color in there somewhere. Or maybe somebody will order me to color my hair, and I'll try it once and then dye it right back to black. Oh, a pairing device for fencing? I see, I see. Okay. I have to look that up later. That's very interesting. I'm from Kansas City. Don't give me an excuse to be insufferable about barbecue. Yeah, you have a license to do it. You can. You're allowed. Oh yeah, edamame hummus is like one of my go-tos. It has to be fresh though. Like I feel like edamame hummus specifically is best first day. Really lemony, really lemony. Lighter on the tahini. Salty, but not too salty. I'm really hoping for Thornwood next year that there's more people. I'm hoping it'll keep growing year over year. I think it has a lot of potential to it. But honestly, it was really nice this year. I only had like 350 people at it, so it wasn't like crazy busy, and none of the good spots were like immediately taken, so it all worked out. As a bisexual trans femme, if a man who's into me is pansexual, then I want to know that I'm not going to get hit with a, yeah, I like men and trans men. Pan. Like, no. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. I can see that. Yep. Because then it's like, oh, what are you hoping to see about me then? Yeah. We were just having a conversation about this on FetLife, I think, about like genital preferences and like people being weird about them. Because, oh boy, can people be weird. Oh, there's a hurricane on the other coast. Is it hurricane season yet? I thought hurricane season wasn't for like another month. Oh, climate change. Oh, I do have a really good vegan protein thing. All right, let me show you. All right. I got these because they're shelf stable. And I wanted to be able to bring them with me on a trip. But the Koya Elite, 32 grams of protein. It's really tasty. You can buy the non-shelf stable refrigerated ones. I think are better actually. So you can get one of the refrigerated ones. You can get them at certain Kroger stores, and you can get them at New Seasons. I think you get them online. I think maybe as well. I don't know other places, but these are really good. If you're like, I want to have something that's like non-dairy, lactose-free, these are actually really good. I haven't had the vanilla one yet. I'm usually like not into, I don't know why. So many places that make vanilla, especially Koya, their vanilla has cinnamon in it. And I'm like, ugh, I don't like vanilla cinnamon. If I wanted to have a horchata, I would just have one, you know, like, but I'm not really into that flavor profile personally. Oh, it is hurricane season? Oh, Sean sent 10 gifted memberships for the stream. Thank you so much, Sean. You're so generous. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome to all the new members. You now can use all of our beautiful, amazing emotes. So look at that. Wow, wow, wow. All right, we have 5 minutes left. I am sticking to my chair. Please pray for me. And let's go ahead and answer some more questions. Yeah, Fluvog does good vegan leather boots and stuff like that. Yeah, always good. I wonder if Sting versus Thud is in any way related to bass tolerance. Heavy bass knocks me out. Oh, well, you know what? When I am at a concert, I do like heavy bass. Like I do like the percussive element of being at a concert. I'm not into like bass music. Like I don't like wub wubs. Like I'm not a wub wub person. But I do like that. But I also have been around people where they get overwhelmed by it and it's like too much for them. So I get the opposite side of the coin as well. Soylent actually does not taste bad. That's true. I like the strawberry Soylent. I've definitely had in my rotation before. I had a partner that used to buy it in bulk a lot, and so I'd have it every once in a while. It's not that bad. Not that bad. But I tend to make my own like homemade protein stuff, but I wanted something I could bring camping with me that I could take with me on the plane. Actually ended up not bringing these with me because I didn't have room in my luggage for them. Ended up not needing them, but it's like 200 calories, 32 grams of protein. Crazy good macro ratio for a vegan product, especially a drinkable thing that doesn't taste like chalk. But welcome all the new members. Thank you. Okay. Think about egg replacements a lot. What's the best one, Amy? Depends on what you want to use it for. I personally like the Bob's Red Mill egg replacer for baked goods and general usage. For actually eating an egg, like if you want to have a scrambled egg, mung bean replacement, which I don't have a lot of. I'm not really, even before I was vegetarian or vegan, I never really ate just like plain eggs that often. I'd have like scrambled eggs sometimes or poached eggs. I did baked eggs for a little bit when I was in college as like an easy meal. But it's not really something that I go to super often. Also not super high on protein, so it's not a thing that I go for all that much, but it is an option. And they're pretty good. I've actually had pretty good vegan eggs from like vegan restaurants, but I don't have enough practice making them at home to see if they taste good. I personally prefer Soylent over Huel. The Huel premixed, if you get like the Huel meals, a couple of those are pretty good. I'm actually really pissed they changed the macaroni because I used to mix the Huel, like, I don't know what it was called, but they had a macaroni and cheese. Maybe we just called mac and cheese. They had a vegan macaroni and cheese Huel that was really high in protein. I used to have that as like my after gym snack. I made like a half a serving with that, and then I would mix gochujang and nutritional yeast flakes into it, and that was really good. But they don't really make it anymore. Oh, the banana. Oh my god, banana is my favorite. I like banana flavor so much that I have paid to get the UK banana Nesquik flavor because they don't make it in the US, but they have it in Europe. I have paid to get the banana Nesquik flavor, and my favorite milk is the Mulala banana milk is fucking the bomb, and I can't find it anywhere. And actually, I think Almond Breeze also does a banana milk. That shit is the bomb. That is like, I am addicted to that. I have to like ration that out. If I buy it, I will drink it in like 2 days. I'll be like, oh, I'll use this to make like banana birthday cake vegan protein shakes. And then suddenly I'm drinking half the bottle in one sitting out of a glass. That's like, oh, that's so good. Just a delicious, delicious snack. Wow, y'all got me talking about snacks for like half an hour. Now I'm hungry, Jesus. Yep. And we learned about creepy kombucha leather. Tire bikes. Actually, I have a really nice, not a flogger, but I have an upcycled bike tube, like impact play, like I guess a wand, maybe you could call it. And that's really fun. And it's, I've been meaning to reorder another one for a long time. Maybe I should actually ask somebody to like make me one of these. But it was like upcycled bike tire for the handle, and the end of it was a Kong, and that actually was really fun to play with. And I wanted to make a new one that was purple, because the purple like senior Kong is softer than the other Kongs are, and I thought that would be fun. So maybe actually that'll be like a fun little DIY project. I'll add that to the list. All right, any last remaining questions? I will answer exactly one more question, and then I have to go make buffalo soy curls, or I will die. I will simply perish. Our broken, sobbing my eyes out. Now I must wait yet another week to be mildly silly on stream. Well, you could join us for our Monday stream at 5 p.m. and be silly while I play video games and die fighting a giant sentient trumpet. And then that, you could laugh at me for that. That is a thing that we could do. That's a thing you could participate in should you wish. Yes, good night, everybody. Peanut butter is vegan, but Reese's have milk in them, so they are not actually vegan. I've not heard from Rebecca today, but they were on the stream on Tuesday, so I think they're probably okay. It gives you a chance to make up funny jokes. Yeah, you have to store up all your funny jokes. It's in my calendar. Bet. Hell yeah. Yeah. Twitch. Join me if you like these streams. Join me on Twitch on Mondays at 5 p.m. We play video games and I talk about stuff and I shoot the breeze and it's a good old little fun time and I like it, and it's the only time during the week I typically get to play video games, so that's cool with me. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. Stay safe. Have fun. Have a good evening. Drink your water, wear your sunscreen. Please do not die either from heat or a fire or a hurricane.